You guys can ramble for about 10 more minutes. Let's hope that Lily is able to join. So keep me updated while I do that.
Okay.
Do you guys? Okay. Do you have like a favorite run? Because like I know low key, this might be controversial, but I do enjoy that 2004 run just because how
I
messy it
like the
was.
2004 run. It's the only run that made me actually like Walter in a sense.
Really?
But you can never go wrong with the original run. But I also do like art wise. I love the 2011 run.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
I'd say the original Burn run, and then probably the 2011 run.
Yeah, I think most people, and then obviously Volume 5 is great too. I wish it was longer.
Yeah, that's what's holding it
Yeah.
back for me.
That's not like yeah, that's like really upsetting because everything else like Volume 5 was really good, and I wish it was more of an ongoing. And this is why I have a problem with Marvel doing this thing where they give us our team back, or at least any superhero team. If they're not the Avengers or X-Men, it's not a guarantee they're gonna have a long ongoing. And it's really upsetting because Alpha Flight is one of those teams where I feel like they're so unique to stand out that I feel like they deserve more than 5 issues.
Like I wish it was like a 12 issue or at least a 10 issue.
Yeah,
It was
it's
strange the way they just made all those Fall of X things like 4 or 5 issues, as if it was going to come to a definitive finish, and now they've
Some
kind
of
of like
them
padded
didn't
it
even
out a
need
bit
to
more.
be a mini series. Some of them could have been longer.
Yeah,
yeah,
No. And
especially something
here,
like
hmm?
especially something like Uncanny Spider-Man. It was not made to be 5 issues.
I heard
Yeah,
that Uncanny Avengers, I think that's what it's called, the
Yeah.
one with Cap in it. I heard that was supposed to be longer too. It felt like it was longer. And like
Well,
you leave
the
me on a cliffhanger with Alpha Flight, and you think I'm not gonna be upset over that?
yeah.
I think the
I
problem
also
that happened was the X-Men editor got swapped out for a different guy, and he just wants to do his own stuff now.
Yeah,
So
if he
yeah,
all the
wants to do
plans
anything
got thrown
right, you
out.
better give me an ongoing.
yeah. I also think too, like Alpha Five, feel like it was gonna be more than 5 issues because the way how it set it up at the end with the rest of the team going to jail and like I feel like they were going to hit like the rest of them were gonna try to break them out. With
Yeah,
Marie,
Yeah. I mean, we did get to see an Alpha Flight cameo in the newest issue of X Force,
X
as
Force
Phil was
today. Yeah,
posting online.
hmm
No word from Lily right now.
no,
I don't
nothing.
think so. No.
If she comes in late, that's all cool and dandy. If she doesn't show up at all, I'll be okay. But I will be sad
Okay.
about it
Yeah.
because she was like my first Alpha Flight homie. So
I know that's how like I think that's like how that's how me and you like met. That's like it's like almost like full circle.
I never thought I would see another Alpha Flight run in my lifetimes, but it's great.
I know it was so crazy because I feel like it was for me when I saw it, I was like, oh my god, we're getting Alpha Flight, and it's just like I didn't know we were gonna do that. Like, which first of all, I was like, a who I was like Marvel. Who was someone like in your ear say, oh, can't Alpha Flight get a 5 issue miniseries? Like some people were
I
like,
kept
can they
begging
get it?
Marvel to let me draw a variant cover because, no offense, but I'm kind of disappointed with some of these variant covers.
Yeah,
I like
the,
the main covers.
The
I'm
main
not gonna
covers
lie.
are fine, but I wish for the variant covers we got a bit more of a variety. Like for issue 5, we got an homage cover to Alpha Flight 106, but it was with Akihiro and not Jean Paul.
it was also impossible to tell what that was for the longest time.
For real.
Yeah.
Like, I
Lily.
spent a good 20, 30 minutes just trying to figure out what that was covering.
At least we can say that variant cover looks better than the original cover.
Oh, yeah.
No offense, that art is atrocious.
That issue itself.
summed up the '90s, really, didn't it?
The
Oh
early
my god.
90s specifically.
The early 90s was something. I feel like the early 90s have to be put on an archive because even for me, having like one of my Wonder Woman comics, now mind you, one of them is the 90s before John Byrne took over Wonder Woman, and it looks like the classic, like his classic art. But I was like, this art screams so 90s. All the girls' chest is all out. They're like, their waist, they just have waist. No, nothing, just waist.
Yeah, I
And I'm
blame
like,
Rob Liefeld for that. Rob Liefeld and Jin Lee.
I blame Rob
Like
Liefeld for a lot of things.
I was reading issue 105 because Christmas, and it was a Christmas issue that came out in February of all months. But regardless, that issue is so funny. It's not even funny. Like, it's hilarious. Like, after this, you guys gotta go read it because it's so funny. Like,
It's just the way it just ends with the weirdest scene on earth.
also, like when JP goes back to his apartment, I think.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, where he's just like undressing, and then he gets a message from his sister, be like, "We got arrested. Please come get us." And he's like, "Oh, you." And then the next issue, he comes out. It's great.
It's just bizarre. And then the issue after 106 then immediately just goes, we're not going to talk about this.
We're not going to talk about the gay shit. Like, not even in his own mini-series do they ever bring that up.
Yeah.
And
Gotta
they
love
kind of
Marvel.
touch on his and Raymond Belmont's relationship, too. Like, I was watching the Cerebro episode about North Star, and they do bring up some good points there.
also, I'm so happy. I'm really happy because I did easily found some of the single issue for Alpha Flight, especially the 2011 one, and they're under like $2 and $8 and
Oh, yeah,
$4.
Oh, I have the whole series. I have that whole series. I was able to
I'm
get most of
definitely-
it into one collection for like $12, and then I was able to get the 0.1 issue for like at a different comic shop for about like $2.
The nice thing about being an Alpha fan is the comics are so cheap because no one
They're-
reads it.
They're so easy to get, and I'm so happy about that. That's why I'm trying to collect all of them. All I need to do is finish the first volume and the second volume. Like, I don't really care for the second volume all that much. Not gonna lie to you. I don't know if you guys liked it, but I didn't care for it.
I think I'm just gonna collect. I think I'm gonna collect the I think I'm gonna collect the. I'm gonna collect the 2011 and then the first volume just because now seeing the price of like, wow, I could have just literally this whole time just buy like the single. See, this is the thing. I get mad at myself because now the art of getting single issues is now is in my grasp. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we've got you into that shit. But you know what's kind of sad? I have more issues of Alpha Flight in my collection right now than Marvel Unlimited does,
Yeah.
and I'm not even
I
done.
believe that. I truly believe that.
And Phil, I don't even know how much Alpha Flight you have in your collection because you have a whole ass website.
Yeah, I've got a fair bit, but you know, everyone needs a hobby, don't they?
Okay, we're gonna be starting in about a minute, maybe less. So, yeah.
Oh my god, yes. Okay, I already
make
see
sure
it
to
because
post everything on your socials. I don't care what you do, if it's before or after.
I'll do it after because it'll be easy for me.
Fair enough. I even was able to post a link to Reddit, so let's hope we get some viewers.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm actually doing really well. Like not getting like my internet has been really good behavior.
Shut up about your internet, man. Don't jinx yourself.
Also, I found issue 5 for the 2011 one, which you know the one where all of them are carrying, guns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's funny.
That's the only time I was like, oh my god, finally a team that makes sense. And like, yeah, bring guns for your fight.
It is officially my time. It is officially 8:30. Are you guys ready to start? You guys got all your issues?
Yes.
Okay, I know I'm gonna sound weird, but welcome to a very, very, very special episode of the Comic Fanatic Pod. I'm Richter, also known as the Witch of Jotunheim, pronouns they, he, and I'm probably the biggest North Star fan in the state of Arizona. JT, go next.
Oh, hi, my name is JT. My social is JT Pop Theory. Big Wonder Woman fan, mega Wonder Woman fan, but also a #1 fan lover of Pug in the United States.
Someone go next.
I'm Crosley. You can find me on Twitter at Blue Crosley. I'm a big Alpha Flight fan. I run an Alpha Flight server on Discord. You can find that on Discord. And feel free to reach out to me about anything Alpha.
And I am Phil. I am the, I suppose, host and moderator of alphaflight.net.
Yeah, that's been going on for a long time. But speaking of that, since the audience doesn't really know most of you guys, how did you guys get into Alpha Flight, and who is your favorite character? If you want me to go first, I could definitely do that for you.
Go for it.
Okay, so obviously, as you guys know, my favorite character is North Star. We've been through this, and also Wild Child too. But I got into Alpha Flight because I was a Young Avengers fan first. And then I got into Julio Richter. That's not how I got my name. Don't worry about it. But then I read Extremist, like from 2019, written by Leo Williams. And I fell in love with North Star and his bitchiness. And I started reading Alpha Flight from there. They got me through some hard times. So.
For me, I think is right around time when I was like getting back into Marvel. Like, mind you, I was very much into comics and stuff, but I only read comics through Comic Book Online. I never was into the collecting until I think TikTok. Everybody got me into collecting, and I heard Alpha Fly. I was like, okay, let me read about them. And I think what made me fall in love with them was like particular Puck and Marina. I like their relationship so much as like friends and stuff, which I wish it was developed even furthermore to be more romantic. But I digress. And ever since then, I love North Star and especially Kyle, and pretty much love the team ever since.
I'll go next. I was doing some reads of just running through X-Men comics with some friends and got to North Star, found him really interesting. So a few friends of mine started reading from Alpha Flight #1 together, and hit the Matlow run, and it was crazy enough that I got hooked.
For real, I think it's always Matlow that does that to you.
Yeah.
I think for me, it was probably, I'm going to date myself here, but not as much as some people. Probably back around when the original Age of Apocalypse came out. So just after that, kind of the characters, the twisted versions of them, and then just got back into the team that way.
Nice.
So fun fact, I'm going to try to do Age of Apocalypse North Star just as a cosplay.
Nice.
In the future, I might do a Wild Child cosplay. I'm not guaranteed. But
nice.
I digress. Anyways.
Yeah.
So before we officially start, I know I'm putting this off, but what do you guys think of the book overall without getting into spoilers? Because I loved it. I just wish it was longer.
I wish it was longer. I do wish it was longer, and I feel like you could. I think what really was good was that all the elements were there. I feel like the team was coming back. We had new additions to the team, but I feel like seeing the original core team and of course the surprise, it was already like this was going to be shape up a really good Alpha Flight if Marvel let it have been more than a 5 miniseries.
And I think a lot of us can agree on that. I think.
Yeah, I feel like it tried to tackle so many different stories and so many different characters that it really struggled to fit it all in the space that I think had it cut it down to a few members of the team, it would have done a lot better with the limitations that it had.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Snowbird and Shaman basically barely got a look in. Aurora didn't really do much, but yeah. I think, like I say, it's a large ensemble cast, so it's hard to get that in 5 issues.
Especially, yeah. So maybe if we bother Ed Brisson enough, and if we bother Marvel enough, if they do anything right, is to give us more Alpha Flight.
I'd take it.
Yeah, I personally think it was a really fun. I think it's really fun, and I think it's just nice to see the gang come back together.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Exactly. Since we haven't really seen the full gang since 2019, but definitely 2011, because I don't really count. I'm not counting Final Flight because that's an alternate universe, but yeah.
Anyway, it's a good one though.
It was good. I do own it. I got it at a used bookstore before it closed down. So yeah. Anyways, I feel like we should get started with issue 1. Tonight I'm using my Akihiro cover because I'm using all the variant covers that I bought. I bought way too many variant covers. I'm only missing one. Anyways, Phil, do you want to start off with a quick synopsis of this issue?
You've hit me there.
I put you on the spot.
Yeah. So I suppose, obviously, it's tied heavily into the X-Men Fall of X event and the Hellfire Gala, where Orchis have orchestrated essentially a ban on mutants throughout the world, so they're even more hated and feared. And interesting that they've used Alpha Flight here to sum up the difference between Canada and America and the US. So in it, Department H are following Orchis instructions and hunting down mutants. And so there's a divide between the classic team and kind of the mutant team. You know, obviously Alpha Flight being introduced in the pages of Alpha Flight, in the pages of X-Men even, it's always had a mutant tie-in and a mutant presence and mutant members. So it puts it in that kind of Civil War category. So issue 1 basically introduces this new Department H head and shows the government team hunting down their mutant colleagues.
And we should mention that it is now Department H is now being run by this woman who is definitely giving off Karen vibes. Someone who botches her hair, named Erica Drolin. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. Honestly, I don't care that much, but
Her name is so pretentious.
Yeah, she really does give off that vibe. So that really kind of ties into this whole issue and this whole run, especially. But it does start off with Alpha Flight being sent out, the non-mutant Alpha Flight being sent out for this. And after Erica gives the speech, the real hero of this book, Man Bun Guy, Lily made that joke, so I have to repeat it since she's not here. He's definitely the real hero because he threw a cup of coffee at Mac, and I wish I could do that.
Oh my god. That was so funny. I think, yes, finally, again, if you don't have an Alpha Flight window start of cursing out Mac particularly, is it really Alpha Flight?
It's not Alpha Flight if you don't have Mac getting fucked over for a good reason, and also JP being an ass. But we'll get to him later. But luckily, Mac does the right thing and lets this guy go, so that's good. And obviously, we get our little titles and everyone who's going to be in it and everyone who worked on this. By the way, if anyone was intrigued by who wrote and drew this, Ed Brisson was the writer, Scott Godlewski was the artist, and so was Matt Miller was the color artist, and it just went from there. Travis Lamb, I think Lanham, I don't know how you pronounce that last name, is the letterer. Tom Moley and Jay Bowen is the design, and Leonard Kirk and Edgar Delgado were the cover artists. And I'm not going to get into all the variant artists because that's a lot more work. But this issue is called Divided We Stand Part 1. Yeah. But guess who also we get introduced in this issue when we head over to the Department H headquarters in Toronto, Ontario, Canada? Guess who we meet? Does anyone want to say it?
Baby Box.
It's Box Jr. I was not expecting to see Box, but knowing that we were going to get Sentinels, we did have to have Box eventually. Which I'm sad that this is his legacy. Yeah. Where is Madison Jeffries when you need him? I know he's alive. Is he dead?
He's dead.
Ah, shit.
Dead.
Him and David Lill are still dead. Bring him back.
Right?
I
do think they're going to end up back soon, but we can get into that later.
Well, we'll talk about it when we get closer to the end of the book, but
yeah.
I feel like seeing Department H back and running and the non-mutant team, it is so interesting because Department H is I feel like Department H, and I feel like not to throw shade to like the America side of Marvel teams and stuff, but like organizations, I feel like Department H is a little bit more shadier.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
100%. That's why I think it worked. Because they've always been like this, really.
Yeah, lots of writers pick up on that, and it's I suppose it's that funny thing about, you know, fascism as opposed to Canadians being so nice and pleasant all the time.
It's so funny.
Yeah. It's like it's just really interesting because it's seeing the team back, but it's also like I feel like people
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. What were you saying, JP?
I would say seeing the team back together, it was nice. But it's also I feel like they also feel bad for them.
Yeah, because I don't. We know that they don't want to do what they have to do for this because in the first page we even see like Snowbird like being like, "Is this even like the right thing to do? Like we're basically betraying the people." And even though like Shaman and Puck agree, they kind of have to do this. You know,
Yeah,
like
I
who?
think that's the, I think that's the sad part because they know that Aurora and Northstar is like been on the team since like the beginning, and now on top of that, they really appeared in X Men. So it's kind of like they're betraying the very people that they are very most super close to.
Like these two are basically family.
Yeah,
Like
It's in a way, it's tying back to where they first appeared. Where they first appeared, what was it? Uncanny X-Men 120 and 121. They're
yeah,
hunting down Wolverine, who's their fellow teammate. It's just bringing it back full circle and getting them in that same position again and saying, will they make the same decision again? Or have they learned in the past few years?
yeah. Also, one thing I like about this book itself is that they have the pages where they have they like explain like certain things. Like for this one I have pulled up right now, they're talking about who Roger Box Jr. is, and they bring up like Roger Box Sr. and all this other stuff. Good to know that he got laid before he died. Good
Well,
for him.
I actually didn't know this. Phil, I don't know if you did. I didn't realize this character was not a new character.
Same.
He's apparently
been-
from another book, not an Alpha Flight book.
He's been around for a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Good to know. Thank you, Ed Person, for enlightening us.
yeah.
But I
Is
feel like we should cut over to California, USA, with someone getting arrested but running away. Yeah. Are we aware of who this is? I know he's from a run that I don't really particularly like all that much. Like, so we get feedback from the 90s run, the late 90s run. Good to know. Yeah, basically he just is about to get arrested and he's like, just leave me the fuck alone. And then he just jumps out of a window with his armor suit because basically just explodey armor. I don't know. I didn't really care about that, about the 90s run all too much.
oh my god.
But we also get introduced to an actual new character by the name of Argent or Argent. I don't know. He's French. But his powers are pretty cool. It's kind of similar to Mercury. I think that's what her name is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mercury.
Like his powers are pretty cool. And I kind of like how in this book that Shaman takes more of like a leadership role, I guess you could say, because I keep saying that I've been wanting him to be the leader of Alpha Flight forever.
Yeah.
It kind of makes me sad that he's never been a leader out of the entire run. Like you would think before Heather became Vindicator and started running the team, you would think Michael and Eugene would step up, but Michael was going on his own journey after having to hang out with his daughter for a little bit.
Yeah. I think Shaman makes sense as like taking more leadership. He also approached us very calmly too. The way how he was like approaching the character, it was like very like yeah. Shaman makes sense. I feel like Matt as the leader, like is he a good leader? I guess you could say it, but I feel like Matt is also always like. I think Matt has a bad way to sometimes lead the team, where I feel like Shaman is more compassionate towards others and really want to not actually like go more with violence and stuff. But seeing it like almost Shaman almost got attacked real quickly, and Snowbird is like, I'm just gonna have to do it myself.
He's basically the dad of the group.
Pretty much.
Which is kind of funny because I think they all have kids too.
A lot of them do have kids. Even dead or alive, a lot of them do have kids.
I think
I think
Aurora.
Snowbird did.
Snowbird did.
Aurora and Fang don't. They're the only two on this current team who has never had a kid. I don't know about Walter if he's ever had a kid, but no, wait, did he? He had a wife.
I think they separated before they could.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll look back on it later. We'll go on the fandom wiki later. But besides the point, so before Snowbird can actually like get this kid, she is stopped by Aurora, looking great. She's been in the same fit since 2020.
It's a good fit.
It's a nice fit. It's one of my favorites. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But
Also, see Fang, basically stopped down Puck, which I'm like, this is bullying. He's already short than everybody else. You gotta have to jump on his back, but they got Puck kick him out of the way. And I'm like, also, Akihiro outfit is really good. I really love the coloring.
I do too, but it is kind of weird to see him with a shirt on.
That is a good point.
I just like that this bit of dialogue with Aki and Puck, where he's like, "It's Fang now," and Puck's like, "Sounds dumb."
Yeah, and I love how Puck is like, I'm going easy on you out of respect for your own man, but not too easy. Like, I love that like Puck Sue have a strong, good enough relationship with Logan.
We love that for him.
Yeah.
But before I just like how Jean Paul is able to be a terrorist again. We come full circle on his character too.
It's true. He seems to be enjoying it, honestly.
Yeah, I think he misses the old days, and he didn't really get to do much as an FLQ terrorist,
What a phrase.
So he's like,
Yes.
finally, I get to do this now.
And of course, Matt's like, no, sir, this is disappointing. I'm like, Matt, shut the fuck, like, shut up. You're so annoying.
I like how we're just repping on him, man.
Like, oh my god, I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed, Guardy, that you're like a mutant killer and hunter. So what is it?
Like, I'm disappointed in you. But don't worry, before their little chit chat can escalate into violence, Nemesis does show up, and Mac is like, Nemesis, and JP's like, surprise, Guardian. And then he just has this like smug ass look on his face while Laurent is like scared out of his fucking mind.
I was like,
yo.
See, Nemesis was like, oh my god, Nemesis is back, and then John, like JP is like, he's like, nah.
I just want to imagine this whole book, but with the Marvel babies, like.
It's interesting, I think, the way that the whole book basically is kind of laid out, in that, yes, you get the insight into these characters, but you also kind of have to look at it through Argent's point of view of just this poor guy is begging someone to make sense, and then someone random in a red robe shows up, grabs him, teleports away, and he has no idea what's going on.
I kind of feel bad, but in this book he is kind of a little shit as well, so
He is, but you have to get it.
I get it. I so get it. But I just like how they just humiliated the non-mutant Alpha Flight team. It's like, love you guys, deuces.
It's also just really funny because it's like, I was like, oh, like how you could have stopped them. Like, well, given the fact they've been a team since the 80s and been around with each other this long.
Since the 70s.
Yeah, since the 70s. So like you have to remember, they've been around this long with each other. They know each other's fighting tactics and their abilities and know how to counteract each other so super well.
Yeah. That's something that's brought up in the original volume 2. It's volume 4, where Mac is really trying to it is volume 1. Mac is really trying to just work on a typical practice session with everyone, and suddenly the twins reveal that they can shut down his suit without him even realizing it. And it's just a little insight into Mac's always had this, not a sense of superiority, even though I think that's there, but just he thinks he knows more than I think everyone around him.
It's like, sorry, dude, you're not Charles Xavier. You're not just going to stalk everyone's mind and think you're going to know everything.
And that's what's interesting about him, I think. He doesn't have powers, but he still functions as if he does.
Okay,
Yeah.
in ways
quick
that don't even apply to what he can do.
yeah, but quick question: who is a better leader, Guardian or Vindicator?
Vindicator, easily.
Vindicator. Yeah. I also think when you brought that up about like Mac like being like he has an air of superiority, it's really true because essentially him and Heather essentially are the only non superpower being, like, mind you, amongst their team you have two powerful mutants where they both have super speed flight, one could fly the furthest and one could fly the fastest. You have Puck, who's also someone of mutate, who's a very skilled gymnast and a very skilled fighter and stuff. And then you
when
have
it comes to JP, he also does have gymnast attributes too because he was in the circus.
yeah, and then you have Marina, who essentially is like very much like, how do I categorize Marina? I always say she's like a mystical fish creature, like the Atlanteans and stuff.
She's an
But
alien.
yeah, alien, and not to mention like. And not to mention, she could turn to this big leviathan, and then you have like Shaman and Snowbird being a demigoddess who could shapeshift to any animal or mystical creature in like Canada, and Shaman is a magical user. So you basically have essentially alien, mutants, and magical beings, and you're the
And
only
that's
one
not
who's
even counting like everyone else who has joined the team throughout the years as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, does he have a notebook about this, or what's his deal?
Especially a lot of it happened long after he was dead.
True.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think he knew about the twins' whole BS with Loki, where the fairy illness.
Oh my god.
I like to imagine Heather had to explain that to him one day and he refused to believe her.
I mean, if someone had to explain that to me, I wouldn't believe it either, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyways, let's get back to the issue because we got a lot to talk about. So we do get Albert, aka Feedback. He is talking to his wife and kid, but he doesn't know that Orcus has infiltrated his home and basically got his wife to talk about everything about who he actually is. So that fucking sucks. But
oh god. That was such a betrayal. I was like, what, girl? Like, are you serious? I understand, but damn.
like, I feel bad. But we do get a little page about who Feedback is and all that stuff. Good to know that he was born in Nova Scotia. You know, I've never been to Canada. Is that sad? I don't think that's sad.
Oh, not really.
JT, we need to take a trip over to Canada.
I'm like, oh my god, Canada. I'm like, wow.
Never been. But I swear, Erica, she's just a bitch. And not in like a North Star bitchy way. Or not even in like a Namor bitchy way. She's just a bitch. And she's like, how dare you humiliate a Department H like this, you fucking assholes. You know, she's like, clearly the four of you are incompetent as fuck.
Well, I'm looking like, well, I'm like, girl, like, do you not see we have to fire our own team members? I would think our own team members who, like, literally the three of them alone, besides Fang, are the only ones who know how to counteract our abilities and know how to handle us in a fight.
And plus, they would have probably told him about this eventually.
I mean, I think to play devil's advocate, from her point of view, the same applies to them, that they should know their weaknesses.
Yeah.
But we'll find out what happened later.
Yeah, we'll circle back around. But we also do get to cut back to Canada in Manitoba and Krakoa North, which I wish we would have got more of Krakoa North. Like, when was this made? I don't know. But JP checks on Laurent, you know, being like, how you doing? And he's like, I'm batshit terrified. What do you think? How do you think I feel? I haven't been in this game as long as you have.
See, that's one of the things that kind of bugged me about Fall of X as a whole, not just in this book. They had like a good, I think it was a 10-week break between the end of the Hellfire Gala and the start of all these books. And I just felt like it led to a lot of more telling than showing where, yeah, things have now become horrible. You know, because we told you that. Whereas if you'd shown the 10 weeks, we could have seen the development of Krakoa North. We could have seen how bad things have gotten for mutants. Instead of just a time skip that kind of tears away from all that.
Yeah, that's why we needed like a 0 issue, or this needed to be longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I was just like, I first of all, the art again, this breathtaking. Like no, like the way their location that is beautiful. And I'm like, damn, I really do want to visit Canada a little bit, like one day in my life to
JT,
see
we
what.
need to make that trip.
Yes, like visit Canada, and then on top of that, it's very beautiful, but also it's like. Damn, I'm like I remember reading this and I'm like I'm not even lying. I almost shed a little bit of tears because I just miss reading Alpha Flight so much and getting new material and the art style like new art in modern time. And I'm like I just wish we just get more of this.
Yeah, straight up
One
like
major nitpick when it came to this book, when it comes to the art, it's mostly the twins don't have their pointy ears, but other than that, I'll live.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's the only major issue, but otherwise Milan Godlewski just blew it out of the park, I
I'm
think.
so glad that they gave that he gave Shaman some melanin.
Yeah.
He's kind of fine, not gonna lie. But anyways, getting back to the book. I'll simp over fictional men later. That's what Twitter is for. Anyways, how did you guys feel about the twist at the end of the book?
For
I was like,
context, the twist at the end reveals the non-mutant members of Alpha Flight walking in and revealing that they've been working with them the whole time.
And that they're gonna help with the mutant transfer.
see, I wasn't surprised. Here's the thing: wasn't surprised about the others. I was surprised by Mac even saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna help," because Mac seems like the type of person who would just follow the rules of Department H, particularly.
I mean, he did lock his wife and kid up in a simulation for Department H back in 2019. So
Yeah.
That
So
and
I'm really
Mac,
surprised he's like breaking the rules.
yeah, especially when recently he was working with Orcus, like throughout Sword.
oh my god, I need to read Sword. Jesus Christ.
Very good book.
Noted. I'll add that to the list when I decide to read all the rest of X Force and also X-Men Red.
It's to summarize what happens with Mac, he ends up teaming up with Orcus and trying to work with them because the mutants have taken Mars, and he thinks that that's kind of wrong. And in the same time, he realizes, oh, they're actually trying to exterminate the mutants, and I'm not going to be part of that. So it kind of lays the seeds for this, but it also just feels jarring out of nowhere that that's not really addressed.
Yeah. There's just like a lot of things that weren't addressed. Like, yeah, but I'll get back to some of the things that I wish they would have gotten into more later. But I feel like we should start with issue 2 already because I know someone's favorite members shows up in this issue. JT.
Kyle!
One of our favorite Kyles gets to show up.
Oh my god, it's okay. So issue 2 opens up with Matt, JP, and Kyle walking around talking about the program, and they are like, particularly Matt, say we're running out of time and stuff, all this stuff and stuff. And I have to say, Kyle looked good. Fashion wise, looked really good.
It's simple, but it works.
Yes, and also I just love that Kyle is more willing. Like, of course, Kyle is always willing to help his man, and no matter what, we love that.
I'm just glad that he didn't die during the Hellfire Gala. I'm glad. I think he was just at work when it happened. I think he was like in like New York or wherever the fuck he was, and he saw the news and he was like, "Ah, shit, gotta call my husband." No, wait, I gotta email my husband. That was like a joke I saw that the only way that they communicate is through email.
They probably have papers.
I was like,
But yeah.
I feel like Kyle's one of those characters. I feel like if you try to unalive him, not only is this like bearing your gaze, but it's also like, of course, again, disposable black characters as a love interest.
Yeah, I also feel like if you get rid of Kyle, unfortunately, despite I personally love Kyle, he hasn't gotten enough development to make it as emotionally impactful as it would be to kill him.
Thank you. But I do love Kyle too. I just want them to do more with him, more than just a pride issue.
Haven't even had that lately.
Like I'm gonna try to beg Marvel to give us another North Star mini. I'm gonna try. They're not gonna do it.
No.
Also, the next panel we see is certain kids about to run outside and stuff, and Aurora stops them.
being the best. I think
First of
she would
all,
be a great mother. I'm just saying. I
yeah,
think she'll be a great mom.
yes. She looks amazing, like always. Oh my gosh, she's giving iconic. Also, I just love that, like, again, seeing both the twin speed. Like, I know, JP is the fastest, but Aurora being like able to keep up with speed enough where she's fast enough to grab somebody's hand before they touch the door is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I like how she like goes down to the children's level and explains to them why they can't go outside even though I know that they want to. And I really like that. That's why I keep saying that I think she would be a great mom if she does ever decide to have a child.
Yeah,
But even
I
if
think
she never does, hypothetically, if Jean Paul ever like either adopts a child or gets Joanne back, like I think she'll just be a great aunt in general.
Yeah.
Adds to the
yeah,
family.
I do think Aurora, and I think seeing here too, I think the kids being part of like this program really give this new weird life for the Alpha Flight team as more inspirational heroes that actually are very much like they like being more kind and like really helping. It's really like a great thing to see, and I wish if the Alpha Flight ever expanded as a sense of.
Oh no, R.I.P.
Oh, there goes the internet.
I kept telling them, but anyways, Phil, what do you think so far of issue 2 of what we have talked about so far while JT has been having internet problems?
I am.
Oh, you're here? Okay, good.
I was like I was hearing you guys so well.
That was weird.
Yeah,
But
you fully cut out.
yeah, you cut out for a minute. What were you saying?
Oh no, I was saying is that I wish like if the kids would have stayed and they didn't have to leave, I just wish we would have like the next generation of Alpha Flight being trained.
Oh, that would
Yeah.
be so nice. But when it comes to Aurora in this book, I'm kind of glad that they didn't bring up her DID because a lot of people fuck it up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in a 5-issue miniseries, one, they wouldn't have been able to in the first place. And two, like if a lot of writers either don't address it at all and just treats her as like one whole being, I guess you could say, or they like fuck it up a lot. Like nowadays they're actually trying to not make it seem like that, but back then, and especially in Weapon X, oh my god, they did both her and Wild Child so dirty in that book.
He looked like Nosferatu.
That's what I said.
Mm-hmm.
Phil, have you read that book? Oh no, he died.
Oh, bye, Phil.
Hi, Phil.
I think in terms of Aurora's DID in this book, I agree with you that I'm glad they didn't address it because I don't think they had space to. I also, just from a purely practical standpoint, there are so many characters in this book, we do not need another one.
That's true. We don't need to have the dynamic between Aurora, Jean Marie, and all her other alters, you know?
Yeah, it'd just be too much.
It would be too much. If this was longer, maybe you were able to play around with it, but unfortunately we cannot in this book.
Yeah. I also, one of the things that I really like about this scene goes back to the point I was making earlier. This book takes so much care to show like the civilian effect of Fall of X in a way none of the other books actually do.
Yeah.
And that I love.
I agree too.
Like these are just little kids dealing with it. I don't even know the dude that looks like Armor on this page. What's
Feedback?
up with him? No, on the page with Aurora. There's like a kid that looks like Armor from
Oh
the
yeah.
X-Men. And
Yeah,
he's just got such a cool design, and it's just
he
look
kind of
at
looks
these
like
kids.
a mix of Armor, Feedback, and Glob Herman.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's wearing the suit, but we'll probably never know.
Yeah, and that's what's interesting. Like the design is cool enough it actually makes you think about these things and think that there's another life beyond these people.
Yeah,
beyond
and I
what we
also
see
like
here.
that scene with Shaman and Lawrence, and where he's talking about, like, Lawrence is talking about why he doesn't go by Argent anymore, and all that other stuff, and
Mhm.
how, like, Shaman understands, like, he gets it, like, he's been in this game for a while, like, I completely understand, like,
Yeah.
and he, like, reassures
Yeah.
him that he'll be safe and all that other stuff, you know, and until, like, I don't know, later on, I guess.
Yeah, it's the dichotomy of just here are these people who are mutants, but who haven't been superheroes versus the non-mutant superheroes who have been through this. But Canada's only targeting the ones who haven't proven to be dangerous before. Like, Mac has killed so many people.
For real, like
God knows Heather has.
Yes.
We'll get back to Heather and her death toll in a moment. But we do have to hit up the Shi'ar for a bit, which I keep saying, if you bring up the Shi'ar in anything, I'm not going to get it.
Yeah, I tune out.
Yeah.
Like, cool, good to know. That's why I completely tuned out on most of Marauders. I only read it for like 4 characters, and 2 of them are in this book. Speaking of it, where the fuck is Somnus?
Don't worry about it. We don't need Somnus.
I like Somnus though. I need him to be in more things. But I do like the chat between Aki, not Somnus, Puck, sorry, and Empress Sandra of the Shi'ar. I do like their conversation where she has to explain that she can't send people down there to go collect all these mutant kids because of their history of imperialism and all this other stuff. And they're like, don't worry about it. We got you. But we'll bring them up there, though. We'll get them there.
Yeah. And then
That's absurd.
It's so crazy because it's like they're making excuses like, oh yeah, we can't send them to space, which is like, what?
Not even just that. The Shi'ar can't come to Earth. They do it daily.
They do it all the time.
Like,
I hate
come down all the fucking time.
It's crazy because when you look at it, it's like you're the not even that, you're not even the first. Like, it's been multiple aliens who come down to Earth unannounced, and now for the first time when mutants are fighting for their life, you're like, oh well, we can't come down to Earth to save y'all.
They came to Earth and killed Rachel Gray's entire family for no reason. And now it's a problem.
For real.
Come on.
But we do have to head over to Oregon for a little bit though, to hang out with Albert. Where he's trying to get a coffee, man. He just wants some coffee and some yummy food, man. But these fucking narcs, these damn narcs,
they were like, I was like, oh my god, here comes the drama.
Like the owner of that diner or whatever the fuck, he just looks so creepy. Being like, I just wanted to check in on you. How is everything? How are you doing? I've never seen you around here before. You fucking creep.
Yeah.
Like, why would you start with a conversation? A, I don't know you, and B, why would you do that? And like, is everybody look at me like, I don't know all y'all. Like, if someone would have did that to me when I'm relaxing, and you look at me and you're like, oh, how you doing? I'm like, first of all, I'm just gonna start recording because this is feel like a horror movie.
Yeah.
For real. But then we find out that there's a whole bunch of cop cars out there trying to arrest them, and he's telling everyone to get the fuck out, you know?
I think on this scene here is another example of the amazing art, because the fire going out of his eyes, that's incredible.
It's great. I love that. But I also love the conversation between Snowbird and Nemesis in this scene. That was a nice little chit chat.
Yeah, it gave some insight into Nemesis that was sorely needed, even if I find Snowbird generally pretty dry.
Fair enough.
I think
but
Nemesis
they
needed
give her a
that.
little bit of character in this book. Just a little.
Yeah. It is really nice. It's really nice because it's like, at this point, there's only 3 girls on the team.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it was really nice. And I love that because we don't, I don't think, at this point, nobody knew it's Heather. So it's kind of, very interesting. She's having to have...
We haven't gotten there yet.
Well, to be fair, it was very predictable.
It was her.
We all fucking knew. It was between one other person. I thought it was Laura. It could either be Heather or Laura Dean, but more likely Heather.
Yeah. When they announced the book and had Nemesis in the background, I immediately went, that's Heather.
Yeah, I think anyone who knows anything about Alpha Flight, it was definitely Heather.
Yeah.
I knew it was Heather just because the fact was Heather, they have to bring Heather back after the 2019. So it's knowing the way you leave Heather there. And I'm like, yeah, Heather is Nemesis. It makes so much sense.
Yeah, there was never a doubt in my mind.
Yeah,
There's
so like for me, like I knew this was Heather because I was like, even if this was spoiled or not, I feel like everybody who's an Alpha Fight fan would like, yeah, this is Heather, and I feel like it's very interesting that Heather it's very interesting like Heather's having all these touch and mo with the Alpha Five members, and the Alpha Five members don't know this is Heather, and they're like, dag.
Yeah. I do have one major criticism about the Heather thing, though. I
Hmm.
don't know who it was written for. Because, like we said, every Alpha fan knew this was Heather.
Yeah, no one was
And
shocked.
no one who's not an Alpha Flight fan cares that it's Heather. So what's the point of this being a twist?
It really wasn't. Like I said, if it was like another character, like another previous Alpha Flight character, or even a new person, it would have been way more like, you know.
Yeah, like if this was Laura Dean or if it was Diamond Lil,
Oh my
then
god,
I
if it
would
was
get it.
Diamond Lil, I would have lost my shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it being Heather is just, yeah, no shit.
Like no fucking shit. Like Ed,
I feel
listen,
like
I love you, but like this was not shocking. Both twists were not fucking shocking.
Yeah.
it wasn't surprising because I feel like Heather made more sense because I feel like she was eventually gonna get out the what her situation during the 2019.
Yeah. Especially when Canada's not focusing on her anymore because of this new crisis.
True.
Yeah.
Like, she's not a mutant. They don't care about her.
Yeah, my first thing was like, okay, that's Heather, but then I wonder is like if she gives up as Nemesis, what if she just put her back into the power suit again?
Yeah.
As long as it's not
Yeah.
the green one, I'm good.
Made her almost look like Jean.
She did look like Jean.
God forbid you beat a redhead in Marvel and wear green.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That man has a type.
Yeah,
Man.
But, yeah, in terms of Nemesis talking to Snowbird, it was a nice moment of Snowbird possessing empathy, which is kind of rare for her.
Yeah. Because
And-
like,
Yeah.
you know, she's usually a stone cold demigoddess.
Yeah, and it's kind of just showing a lot's happened to her in the past couple decades.
yeah,
She's actually growing.
Yeah.
we love
Not
to
much.
see it.
Also, the next scene with the non-mutant Alpha Flight talking to Erica on the Omnijet. Can I be honest? I just mostly tuned out this scene because I don't like Erica as a character, and I
I
don't
do,
like
I
Mac
don't.
either.
I just don't like Erica. Also, seeing them right in the jet is always funny to me because I know what the jet is called, but I like to call it the Alpha Jet, the Alpha Flight Jet,
The Alpha Jet.
the Alpha Jet. Yeah,
The best jet.
yeah.
I think
But-
it's interesting. Mac's not flying the plane.
It's Puck. Does he have a boost? No, he doesn't even have a booster seat.
No, they didn't even spring for that.
They were like, "That's not in the budget."
Yeah.
I just feel like Erica for me, I feel like Erica for me, she just gives up the vibe. She's trying to be like, how would say? She's trying to give her very Nick Fury bad bitch moment. Like, yeah, I'm running for the Department H. I'm the big boss. I'm like, girl, please pipe down.
Yeah, like
Yeah, just wait till Wild Child pulls up. You're gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
I liked the previous Alpha Flight head. I forget his name, but he was the one from Volume 4 and Volume 1. I liked him because
Yeah.
he'd been built up for decades for his turn. And then she just shows up and she's instantly evil and just in a generic Orcus evil way.
For real.
Yeah.
Like, I wish she got more to her character, more than just
Yeah.
bitch.
I wouldn't
I
have
think-
minded if Box Jr. was just the one who was in charge.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue you're dealing with the fact of she comes across like, and here's the thing, I'm gonna relate to DC. She reminded me of one of the Wonder Woman villains early when they first appear, Veronica Cale. Very business, blonde hair, blue eye, very corporate women look, all about like having evil agenda and stuff. And she's given that very generic vibe, and I'm like, it could work, but then it doesn't work. And in this case, it didn't work in her favor.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she basically what she tells Mac is that we're gonna send out the box sentinels because you can't do your fucking job. And have fun in Oregon, I guess. But then speaking of box sentinels, they show up in Oregon.
Yeah.
And Mac has to tell his puck to turn around. You know, because like it's not their fight, you know. So
Yeah.
when Box is about to like get feedback's like, fuck off, leave me the fuck alone.
Which is, fair. Really, really fair. Because feedback is going through it. His wife just like basically rat him out to the fucking orchid. And literally these people Orcus, and then literally these people just held him hostage like goddamn.
Yeah.
For real. Like he just goes off on these freaking box sentinels. But then don't worry, Akihiro with his metal claws, even though he's always known to have the bone claws, shows up with the rest of the mutant alpha flight.
Yep.
I will say before we get into that, this
Mm-hmm.
is the most compelling feedback it's ever been.
Yeah. I agree.
Yes.
Hands down.
I agree. I don't even like feedback all that much. I don't even care for the 90s run all that much.
No, me neither. That's my least favorite.
One of the things I do appreciate of Marvel when it comes to like their single issue, I'm probably going to collect 5 single issues of Alpha, is simply the fact of you could just read straight through, and it's like it feels like you're watching a TV show. I love what comic books make me feel like, especially with single issue. I'm now enjoying more than ever. They feel like a episode, like leaving me of a cliffhanger and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I think Phil might have fell asleep.
Yeah, I think so.
I get it.
It is very late where he is.
Yeah.
I would say like that's always like once I hear his like Phil accent, I was like, oh my god, like is it not 5 hours ahead? Like it should be goddamn in the morning for him.
Yeah, I hope we're giving him Alpha Flight dreams.
Bad.
That's what I was like at first I was like, oh, I didn't
guess in the first place, you know. But I was glad for the little that he did show up, you know.
Yeah. I think I was surprised once I heard his voice, like, oh god, like it's 5 hours ahead of us, like, and it's not like, and it's really bad because it's like that means it's like what should be early in the morning for this, that he should be in bed at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad, but I am glad that he showed up for a little bit.
Yeah.
Like everybody, I feel like everybody in this live is or in the United States, and I don't know. I'm in the East Coast. I know Richter is definitely in like that West Coast area.
Woo!
I think you could tell by my accent I'm from New York.
New Yorker too.
Oh hell yeah! There's a lot of New York Alpha fans. Yeah. So I don't know why.
Cryptid's from New Jersey, but he's not an Alpha Flight fan. He likes Captain America and Deadpool way too much.
Well, poor Cryptid being from New Jersey.
For me, I'm from born in like Manhattan Hospital, but raised in the Bronx. Mm-hmm. My majority of family still live in New York. It is my main family, my mom and my sister and my stepdad. We moved to Virginia when I was much younger, but we go back and forth. I'm dependent now because my aunt who live up to New York, she says she might just take me to like, she said, oh, why about you or your uncles and your cousin go to like your first ever Comic-Con up in New York.
Oh, for my birthday. To New York Comic-Con. Dude, that's where I saw that one Guardian cosplayer and that one Sasquatch cosplayer, which we'll get into that one Guardian cosplayer after this live has ended. Yeah. So we're not going to talk about it, JT. We'll talk about it after the live ends.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Anyways, I feel like we should start on issue 3 since we're almost at the 1 hour mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll ramble about this. But before we start, I do live in Arizona. I live in southern Arizona specifically. That's like the farthest. That's like pretty far away from Canada. Like you guys are pretty close. I'm super far. So JT, if we do plan on this Canada trip, I'm gonna need like to book a plane.
I mean, you would from anywhere else too.
Yeah. Like I live in Virginia, but like even if I decided to go up all the way to New York and then take a plane, we also have to take a plane.
Yeah, I flew to New Brunswick.
I'll be faster. I'll probably be faster than you because I'd be like a couple hours. You probably be like more than like a little bit of longer hour.
A couple more hours. But regardless, let's get on to issue 3, where we're starting the fight You know what I like what they do with JP and his super speed sometimes? I like it when it's just his top half of his body and then it just goes outward, just black.
It's very Superman. It's
Like they just
remind me of Super. It remind me of Superman, especially reading action in both Superman comics. They do a similar speed like Blitz, where they're so fast that their whole body's not even appearing.
yeah,
Yeah,
they just got a Sharpie and just like shoot.
he's basically Superman but goth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
and I love that.
like the way that I draw JP, especially 616 JP. Yeah, I definitely go into that gothic era. But 1610, I make him more emo because I can.
Yeah, I will say JP. I love how JP used more speed and it was giving him like the Superman effect. And Aurora most usually used her light powers.
Yeah.
Which I forgot that she had like healing magic and shit.
Oh yeah.
Like
She's
healing
wild.
She's
They're-
great. I love her.
I
They need
love
to
And
do justice.
Akihiro was just being classic, like every other Wolverine of the family, just splashing and dashing.
Yeah.
But he should have the bone claws. I don't know why he has the metal claws. Do they ever
What
bring that
happened
up?
to his third?
I'm
What happened
I'm
to his third bone claw?
well, he only uses that sometimes.
Yeah, he uses
Oh.
that sometimes. He
I
can
think it's
retract.
just he probably got resurrected in the same way they gave Laura Kinney metal claws. They probably just did the same to him.
Yeah, I mean he
Mhm.
did. Did he die? No, he did. He did die in X Factor, so he got brought back. So maybe he was like, "I want the metal claws this time."
Yeah. Or they just forgot like they did with Laura.
Yeah, I
Lol.
mean, what'd you expect from the Shink family? But anyways, that little moment between Nemesis and Albert, that was kind of cool. But she was like, "We'll get you somewhere safe," and he's like, "Nah, this is my fight. What the fuck you talking about?" And we just see JP just get shot out of the sky.
That man
Yeah.
gets so many concussions.
Oh my
I
god!
read
I
a
was like,
fanfic about that.
I was like, how many times do Alpha Flight get injured, unalive, or get almost unalive? I'm like multiple times at once. That's multiple.
Here's a very embarrassing thing about myself. I have a spreadsheet of all the times that JP must have gotten concussions from being
Can
hit.
you send me that spreadsheet, please?
Yeah, hold up.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
I do. I think it's in the 70s. If
Oh
I
my
remember
God.
correctly.
Oh, I remember. Oh no, I was reading the first appearance of Alpha Flight, like that. Those first two appearances, and he gets blasted by Cyclops.
Yep, that's on the list. Here, dropped in the chat.
Oh hell yeah, I'm saving that.
It is funny that JP. It's just funny that JP just get more concussion than anything. And I'm like, and you go super fast. It's like poor. I'm surprised you don't have brain damage yet.
Oh, he probably does.
Oh, 100%. The way that he
100%,
makes
yeah.
decisions, 100%.
He's definitely more reckless than his sister.
Yeah. My biggest worry is that like I really worry if they ever do a big event with Alpha Flight where JP have to save the world by going so fast at his normal speed, because we know he could go really, really fast if he really
but
wanted
if he
to.
went
But
faster, it would kill him. Also,
Yeah.
Austin, shut the fuck up. Leave me alone.
Here's what I thought would have this is where I thought the book was going to lead to, was him actually doing that and going so
going really-
fast and dragging the ship behind him, and he ends
No.
up
Yeah.
dying because of it. That's where I thought this book was going.
yeah. And that's really crazy because I wish it wouldn't have be that way for his powers, because I wish he had like his little flash moment where he's like so fast that he's actually breaking the barriers for his own speed and stuff.
That would make him an Omega level speedster, and at the moment we can't. Marvel won't let us have that. They can't let the gays be too powerful. Okay, we already have Bobby.
Yeah. But if he wasn't a mega level speedster, that means I'm be saying like, oh, I can actually give it, because I can already shove people in the face like oh, Silver Surfer's the fastest one. I'm like, no, he's not. He's never were.
Like Quicksilver is faster than the Silver Surfer. I hate to admit that.
Yeah.
But I just like how Erica is just getting constantly humiliated by the mutant Alpha Flight.
Yeah.
And can I be honest? For the longest time, I truly believe that Erica's assistant was Max, like guy on the other side. You know, like
Yeah.
I don't know if she is. I don't know if she isn't. Did they ever bring that up?
No,
Not
not that I
really.
recall.
No. You know what? She remind me of Talisman. The look of she looks like Talisman. If they
A little
decided, if they decided like, oh yeah, secretly that is Talisman, and we just never noticed because we just like, oh yeah, we're just not gonna bring it up.
Yeah, that was going to be on issue 12. We didn't get there. Don't worry about it.
That was on that secret issue 6 that we never got.
I was like, all along, Talisman was inside of the Department H as her assistant, trying to help the Alpha Flights.
But like then literally the next page, we just see the twins just get blasted by the box sentinels.
Yeah.
And then like Alpha Flight, like the Nami and Alpha Flight shows up and she's like, at least the machines do the job, you dumbasses.
God.
And then she got so close to like Pugface. She said, "At least the machines deliver results." I'm like, "Bitch, get the fuck away from my man!"
I like how he's just unfazed.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Bitch, you got a nerve. Stay away from my man."
If you could date Puck, you would.
I would.
You would break him out of prison.
I surely would break out of prison and everything, and I will go to jail for that man. I'm like, well, that's my man, and
like,
I'm sticking beside him.
We'll return to that in the future.
We'll circle back around to that. But don't worry. Feedback shows up, and Nemesis is able to teleport them away. But I like this one line. I like this one little text bubble that JP does say. He's like, no, we're not Alpha Flight, not anymore. But we never forgot those who fought with us. I love that panel.
Yeah.
Yes.
North Star has always been interesting to me with Alpha Flight. Because he keeps getting dragged into it, and this man wants nothing to do with this team, but helps them regardless.
I love him so much.
Yeah. Like, Aurora likes clinging to them. Mac is obsessed with it. Heather's obsessed with it. JP wants nothing to do with these people.
He like leaves and comes back every 5 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
Like, I was reading one of the crossover book like issues in the omnibus where it was the Marvel 2-in-1. Okay, that was the one. It was Marvel 2-in-1. And so the twins are just hanging out at like one of JP's many houses, I guess. I don't know how many houses this man has. And they're just like chilling out. He's drinking like a martini or something. And they see what happens on the news. And she's like, "Oh, we got the ping. We gotta go." And he's like, I don't want to help you guys. Fuck that shit. She's like, whatever. She leaves. And then he keeps seeing like all the shit that's happening. And he like puts down his wine glass because he decided to change from a martini to wine. Because I think secretly he might be an alcoholic because of this fucking team. I get it.
I would be too. God damn.
Yeah.
He's like, I only care for my sister and maybe a couple other of you guys. I do not care about anyone else.
Especially Mac.
Oh no, he hates him.
Oh yeah.
Like
he blackmailed him hard.
Especially here's the.
Have you guys ever read Marvel Fanfare 28?
I have that issue. I love that
I have
issue.
it. I need to.
It's so damn good, and it so really explains why he hates these people.
Yeah. I think secretly my headcanon, even though he secretly hates these people, he secretly loves them because in a way he still like viewed them as family enough where he's like, I made the spy job, but damn, do I freaking like I feel like I do the spy job, but damn, I don't secretly miss going on these crazy adventures because I feel like with X-Men, he's limited what he could do with the X-Men team compared to Alpha Flight, and he's just going on adventures and still doing crazy shit.
I think read Fanfare 28, and it'll explain very much why he thinks of them as family and why it's horrible that he does.
Yeah, go. You know what, JT, on a live, maybe on like Saturday or something, we'll read Marvel Fanfare issue 28 together.
Okay.
We'll read it together. But anyways, let's get back to the issue because we are still on issue 3, if the audience was wondering.
Okay, so we are at a point where Miss Erica's like, damn it, like, oh my, like, no, they escape. It was like, girl, stop it with your like lesbian haircut.
It's not even a good lesbian haircut.
No, it's not really.
She's like super close to having a Karen haircut, not gonna lie.
She looks like Kitty Pryde from X-Men Gold.
Fair enough.
At least Kitty rocked the outfit. She rocked the hair look. She just give it basic Becky.
She's not basic Becky.
And then we arrive back into the facility with Yep. Corner. We're back with the Kyle babysitting the other kids, which is like, you know what? Tells me everything I need to know by Kyle. Is because he really love kids, and I hope him and JP have kids and stuff that is healthy and
For real.
not
I
going
hope they
to.
adopt Tommy Shepard. They need to adopt this boy. Like he's been
Yeah.
done so dirty in the past. Like I don't even know if he knows about David yet.
Yeah.
No, I doubt it.
Also,
For the audience who doesn't know, in the recent Hellfire Gala book, Prodigy does make it on the new X-Men team, but he is immediately killed by Nimrod.
I mean,
yeah.
just to segue for a second, Tommy's probably not alive right now.
Who?
He was a mutant.
We actually don't know if he's a mutant or not.
Right? Yeah, but he got through the portal, so presumably Xavier could have gotten in his head.
Probably. Probably. I don't think Tommy. Like, I don't know if he's dead or not. I think it's because he's still part of the Avengers, and I feel like if you're part of the Avengers, more likely, all the Avengers probably get the fuck out of there, get the fuck out of there before that shit goes sideways.
God, yeah. And then
he's probably in hiding. He's probably hanging out with Master Pandemonium. I think that's what his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The baby.
Also, I also feel like they're like, even though they're mean to kill mutant, I feel like they are aware not to kill certain mutant, especially if they have association with the Avengers a little bit. Like, I'm like, at a certain point,
if you try to if they try to go after Tommy, not only the Scarlet Witch is going to be on your ass, but also Wiccan, who's literally one of the kings of space.
Don't forget,
and
though,
Hulkling too.
It wasn't Orcus going after them. Xavier forced them through the portal.
That's true. And the resist triangle thing. That also, I think, played a part into it, I think. I don't know. Yeah,
resist.
Resist.
It was only the people who knew to resist, and there's no way Tommy would have learned that.
Oh, no. So he definitely has to be in hiding.
Yeah. He's probably in Immortal X-Men right now.
He's chilling. Don't worry. He's fine.
Which, I'm like, I feel like for me, I'm tired of every X-Men getting these characters, because I feel like we could have Alpha Flight, Young Avengers, Champions, and I just feel like X-Men is just overtaking everybody else.
Well, good news on that front is X-Men are getting dumped now.
Yeah.
We're still getting a shit ton of X-Men books next year anyways.
Yeah, but the overall plot's gone.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
We get like small plots here and there, but hey, JT, do you want to tell us what Kyle and Laurent talk about?
Oh, sure. It's okay, so I like how, like, they were like having this conversation, and like Laurent is like it's one of those conversations where I'm like seeing Kyle just really like making sure this kid is not overly scared and stuff, and Empire. I don't know. It's just nice seeing Kyle to just really talk to kid. Like, I don't know. I feel like Kyle would be a great dad. Just him talking to Laura is like, I really see him as a great dad and stuff.
Yeah.
It's also weird.
My main fear with Kyle and Jean Paul becoming parents is that they're just going to be written out because of it.
Yeah. That's what happened. I think with Jones.
Yeah, I think also Kyle being seeing Kyle also like just being just a good mentor, and it's also weird because he's the similar to Mac, but except for he don't have a pyro suit. He's the only one who is like a non-mutant watching mutants. But and I like that it's like showing that like he's a black queer man who doesn't judge none of the mutants because he's also a marginalized person himself. Which we need to see more of that. How marginalized people don't fear mutants because they're like, well, we're also marginalized. People fear like being different.
Like, we get it, bro. In our own special ways. But whatever. But it's like, Laurent, he's not kind of acting like a little shithead in this. It's like, man, Kyle's just trying to help out, man. Like, he gets it. He doesn't want to be here either. He was chilling out on Krakoa, not being as much of a damsel.
He was being a house husband.
And also still working for his husband's company. I don't know how that's going right now, but you know.
Don't worry about the ethical situation here.
Yeah. Also, I will say the next panel shows the team finally made it. They in a freaking forest.
No,
and
wait,
stuff.
before we get to that, remember earlier when I was talking about the about how JP and Kyle only talk through email?
Yeah.
It was because of this one email that Kyle sent.
It's absurd. I'm sending an email. I know you're on a mission right now.
Like, love you.
Love you. Don't just get murdered.
I like how he's in an email to his husband, referring to someone as Magistrix Lalandra. Xandra. You can just say Xandra, bro.
I don't think she would mind all that much. Like, you've probably met her before.
Yeah. I mean, he did have dinner with the Space King, so he's got clout.
He gets some clout, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if you've watched the Cerebro podcast, like, and if you know anything who Candy Southern is, I was kind of hoping that Kyle was going to be the next Candy Southern, but they haven't done much with him, so he can't really do that.
The problem is, you could do that with Angel because Angel was a main character in a book with 4 people that ran for like 70 issues.
Yeah, but you can't do that with a character who's barely in it.
Yeah.
I don't know. But maybe hopefully, Jean-Paul will become more prominent in the future.
God willing.
You know damn well we would have all been freaking out at this point. I'm just glad that he's not being like shunned out into the depths of the Marvel pit.
That's what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like after this book, I was anticipating never seeing Alphins again for like a decade.
That's what, like, every decade we get a new book. That's part of the reason why I haven't offed myself yet.
Every decade we get a new book and it has fewer issues.
What, the next volume is gonna be like 1 issue?
Yeah, straight up.
It's
Maybe
a one
2.
shot.
Maybe 2.
We get a mini series and we get like 1 or 2 one shots. But going back to the forest, Nemesis ain't doing so well, my guys. She ain't doing so well.
Is she ever?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
She's knocked out, and Aurora like, oh no.
Ah, shit.
Oh no. Her back was burned pretty well. I was like, damn, okay, Roblox, like, damn, you did a little good damage.
Yeah.
Like, damn, bro. Calm down. It's not that big of a deal.
And I love how she said good news. Good as new, I promise. And it's like, oh my god. And then we cut to like boxes like, I have them. And just put inside of the turtle, like all this stuff. It's like, and Miss Kara over here, she's like, do it. I'm like, okay, bitch. Okay.
Damn.
She has no chill.
She has no chill. She's been on 10 with them almost like every exact moment. And Matt is getting annoyed, which is so funny. Again, low key, hot take. This run kind of made me not like made me less hate Matt less because he's kind of defying the rules against this woman, which is kind of like, you know what? You are growing as a character.
Like, for once.
Honestly,
my God, you're not sucking Department H's dick.
Honestly, that's something I wasn't super a fan of. Like, I like Mac as the villain.
Fair enough.
I think he makes
Who doesn't like Mac as the villain? I feel like if he's not the villain, it's something like, oh god, this is something wrong. But I feel like at this moment where we're at with the X-Men and stuff, I feel like it's perfect time. Like, you know what? I have my villain moments, but this shit, like, I am not about genocide and killing children.
He brainwashed his wife and kidnapped his own child.
Put him in a simulation. I kind of wish they went more with the villain route for Mac, you know?
Yeah. I think I'm not super big a fan of him as a hero. I think he's the best villain that Alpha has.
Yeah.
I feel like I wish they did the thing where Matt was the real villain, and then like if you know when we got that big reveal, like she would have just became Vindicator again, and then literally like is now Matt became the new ultimate villain that Alpha had ever faced before.
Fuck Master of the World. Mac is the real villain all along.
Yeah, that's where I thought this was heading.
Yeah, which I was surprised. I thought everybody was gonna jump on like Guardian, and Guardian would become more powerful with his battlesuit because he designed it to counteract all their abilities. But it's like, did it happen? I was like, oh, wow, Matt is actually becoming. I feel like he was having his weird, and I compared it to Buffy Spike moment.
I feel like if Mac did become a villain in this book, JP would have been kind of happy about that because he would have been like, I fucking told you so.
Oh, he would be thrilled.
He would be having the time of his life. He wouldn't be
Oh,
having a field day.
oh my god, he's like, oh, I finally could kick your ass. Like, I
If I
finally
kick
could
your
do-
ass and I mean it.
He would be running laps around the world saying "I told you so" before he came in to hit Mac.
Yeah. But don't worry, Alpha Flight has to go meet up with the mutant gang, after Feedback gives this whole fucking speech about he made a clone. Because if you've read Marauders, you know what Akihiro's talking about with the clone. I just
Yep.
don't remember that.
I will say I liked that touch because I saw so much criticism of that, and it was nice to see it addressed.
Like, not the fucking clones, man. But
Brisson paid attention.
I need to reread Marauders. I fucking swear.
You know you
JT,
don't.
you free Saturday evening?
Yeah, I'm
Cool.
free.
We're gonna do a live.
Rereading Marauders, I think, is a war crime.
Oh yeah, I'm suffering. I'm suffering for the people. I was only there for 4 people: Aurora, Akihiro, Somnus, Cassandra Nova. That was it.
God.
I will say, the next panel, feedback is getting more character development than we ever like. I was like, wow,
Ever seen him?
yeah, like I would have thought, like who would have thought feedback out of all the characters to bring back have the most fucking character development?
That's another thing that's interesting about this book. I feel like the characters that got the most time was like Argent and Feedback and Box Jr. You get the original Alphans showing
Erica.
up, but they're not as prominent as the more
when they
supportive
do-
cast.
And when they do get screen time, it's mostly the non-mutant Alpha Flight.
Yeah, that's a criticism I have of this, considering it's supposed to be an X-Men book.
Yeah, I think Fang was like less prominent. And, like I think he was just there because they need to add a new member of the team. But I always say he's not bad as a team member because it's also calling back on that very classic of Loki used to be on their team too. So it's kind of nice that his son is in the team. And I'm gonna say low key, he's kind of like I like him on the team. He fits their vibe because like I know that Fang, I know Akihiro could be dark. But see him being more of a lighter tone with a lighter team, it's very nice.
Yeah, they've been doing that these past couple years, especially starting with X Factor, in my personal opinion. Like, we got to see him be like a softer character. But one thing that pissed me off in X Factor was that Akihiro was taller than the twins. God, the twins are supposed to be taller.
And he's a Wolverine.
Yeah, he's 5'9". The twins are 5'11". It just reminds me of when I read this one issue of Young Avengers where Teddy meets his father for the first time, even though it was a Skrull imposter, and he's supposed to be like 6 foot, and his dad's supposed to be like 6'1" or 2, and like Marvel is just towering over Teddy. Marvel heights just make no fucking sense.
They do not have a character book.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's fine. But don't worry about Nemesis. She just passes the fuck out. She's fine. And Aurora takes off her mask. She's like, oh shit, she's dying. She's like fucking dead. Oh my fuck. She needs some milk.
Again, I'm looking over the last page again, and I just don't know who this reveal was for.
Who's
I was like,
shocked?
oh
No
my
one's
god, like
shocked. I was at
like,
work when I read this issue, and I was like, "Oh my god, what a fucking shocker!" All my coworkers
I was like,
said,
oh my-
"What the fuck else
I was like, oh my god, oh my fucking god, like it's Heather. I'm like, well, bitch, everybody just know that. Even Lily know that too. Lily was like, yeah, it's Heather, isn't it?
it's fucking Heather,
Lily's-
man.
It's
Like, we
fucking
all
Heather.
knew. Like, if I was Aurora in this case, I would not have let her go, even though, like, she probably doesn't know about the whole simulation thing. But I do not trust Mac enough with Heather.
The thing is, Aurora spent how many years of her childhood with Mac? He got hurt too.
Yeah, it's definitely like the brainwashing. Like, hasn't this woman been through enough?
Yeah.
Leave Aurora alone. You know that "Leave Britney Alone" meme that came out like over a decade ago? That's me, but with Aurora.
Well, it won eventually, so maybe Aurora will too.
Yeah. I'm so like now I'm like I will get this. That would be my only sin. I'm just going to get this issue. I'm going to just get the 5 issue, call it a day as a new, like, and then go back in my like strike era. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to get these 5 issue. That's it for my Christmas.
Fair enough.
Like that, or I'm just going to convince one of my parents to get it for me. They don't know about nothing.
Doesn't matter. They get it.
Yeah, and it's funny. It is funny because I think when it comes, and it's so sad because we're at this new point where, like, I'm like, even for me subconsciously, I was like, ever since whatever is going on right now, I even subconsciously, I just can't talk about Marvel just the way how Marvel is not Marvel, but Disney is so complicit because I feel bad because Marvel is stuck with Disney, and
Yeah.
these bitches are literally like, oh, we're gonna bring Sabra. I'm like, fuck you.
I made a video giving a hypothetical situation on who they could replace that character with, and I said Kara Kilgrave, aka Persuasion, aka Purple Woman. I think she would have been a way better fucking fit.
I just like for me, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And like I was like, and here's the thing, I knew this was going to happen once. It's like when if BDS heard about Sabra, and I was like, yeah, I already knew if BDS, because BDS was already closely looking at Disney, and I was like, oh man, and I was like, I knew Sabra was gonna be the one that everybody was like, yeah, everybody's gonna talk about, and it's gonna be worse if and also Ash told me they said that the moment that everybody heard about Sabra, they went MIA in all their socials.
Damn.
Because they don't want that type of controversy. Because if that's the case, then that add a level of controversy of like pretty much it's really controversial because then it comes to the play is like Sabra is literally is a Israeli propaganda like in general. So now it was the idea is like, what is her point being here? Because really, she's not even like you brought the most obscure character onto Marvel for no reason, and already this Captain America 4 makes no sense because why is the leader? It is a freaking Captain America villain, given the fact he's a Hulk villain.
I don't know, but that's why I made the video about Kara because like you can do so much with her. Like she could be like a double agent or a triple agent if you think about it, depending on if she's on Alpha Flight or not. But anyways, let's get back on track with issue 4, which I'm using the variant cover, the homage cover with Mac on the globe, but it's supposed to be Marina.
Okay, here's the thing. I know people like variant couple. I just like original covers because I feel like original covers are just chef kiss, and I think I'm biased just because Action Comics has really better covers than original covers than the variants and stuff. So I prefer like the originals.
These variants are pretty weak this time around.
I think with DC it's a little different because they tend to have the creators of the comic, like the artists themselves, do it. Where Marvel, it's a random anyway, so it's not as big a deal.
Yeah, but these are pretty weak, not gonna lie. Like I have like almost all of them. Like the one that that most people liked was very hard to get.
Also, for me, I'm a stickler because I don't want to spend too much money, and I feel like if I just get the original comic and then I will have to spend that much money, then I just don't want to spend that much money. You know?
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get on to issue 4.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to go over too hard over 2 hours. We can go over 2 hours, just not too hard, you know?
Yeah.
But anyways, this issue starts off on Krakoa North with Laurent packing up his stuff, getting a snack. Even Kyle's like, "Yo, what's good, man?" And he's like, "Don't worry, I'm feeding the snack." If I was Kyle, I would have been questioning a bit more, being like, "Why does he have a backpack?
Yeah,
sneaking snacks."
Yeah, and this is really the opening is given like an episode, like episode 4, of Alpha Flight, and I already could tell like some dramatic music from the 20 like from a newer artist, like is one of those rock artists, but the slower sound like and then he's getting ready to leave and stuff. He's like, "Oh, what are you doing?"
For real.
I feel like Kyle just didn't expect him to be that much of an idiot.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I think this is why I feel like Alpha Flight, this run feels better for me because everything feels like it's a show. Like everything feels like a TV show at this point. Like
It's a
you're
soap
watching a
opera.
show and it's like it has that vibe of like every moment is like the next scene ever.
Yeah. But anyways, let's go back to Manitoba. Why not?
Oh my god, Matt really revealed his face. Oh my god, Matt. Okay, we get it.
What?
You have black hair.
Okay, so does like several people on this team right now, man.
I swear to
Yeah.
God, the first time I saw him take off his mask, I was baffled. I was
Okay.
baffled.
Is it me? Not in the close up. In the one he's really like he's surrounded by the Alpha Flight. Hey, told ever, Heather. Why that the artist kind of gave him a little bit more of a pointy ear than Aurora than North Star.
Wait a minute.
There's a few characters like that I've noticed.
Yeah, like he has a little bit more of pointier. It almost looks like a shape of like if it was pointier. It's still regular, but it's more pointier than they are.
What the fuck? I just noticed that, man.
Yeah.
But like he's like, why didn't you tell me about Heather being Nemesis? And like, where's my fucking daughter? Like, I didn't want either of these two involved. And he's like, JP's like, don't worry, your daughter's safe. Heather sent her with someone that we can trust. Don't worry, we aren't gonna spoil it for the audience.
Which is a major punch in the face when JP just lost his chance to get his own daughter.
Don't get me
Yeah.
started with that.
First of all, I have to say, Heather being knocked out, so beautiful. She's the artist for this. Really, like, yeah, we're gonna just go pour, give her a good face card.
We love Scott Godlewski for that. Shout out.
Yeah, and she was given iconic, which is like somebody asked me, like, what is the whole purpose of Nemesis? Like, it's a mystery to everybody.
That's the whole point.
Alright.
I don't like it when they reveal. I don't like it when they reveal who Nemesis is. You know, it's like it just ruins the illusion, I guess you could say.
Yeah. I know I've been criticizing it a lot. I love this book, but I think that's its weakest point. Just the Nemesis reveal and everything to do with Heather, especially because it doesn't really address what happened to her.
No, and I wish that this was longer so that they could. But I like how Shaman is trying to like heal Heather while also explaining like she can't teleport any more time. Like if she does it one more time, she's gonna like either pass out and be out for a while, or she's gonna die. And I'm gonna circle back around to this point in a little bit. And Puck's like, yo, we got like I know there's a lot, but we can't stay here, man. We gotta go. And she's like, and then Snowbird's like, yeah, you're right. Like Erica's probably already on our ass, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff. And then feedback is like, yo, I know what we can do to like chill out everything and all that jazz. And I like the little description on the Onyx sword, aka Skell. And I like how they have the former wielders, which is Isabel St. Ives, who is what was the name of that one villain, the one who killed Raymond Belmond? I forgot.
Deadly Ernest.
Yeah, Deadly Ernest. That's basically his daughter. Jane Thorne, we don't know what happened to her. We don't know if she died again or not. And then we got Amelia Weatherly from Volume 3. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I also love like the what they always love about Marvel, especially with the X-Men era. I love they give you a brief history about everything you need to know. They did the same thing with Eternals, which by the way, love Eternals.
Such a good book.
I need to read it.
It's
I still
so
need to read
good.
Immortal Hulk to figure out what happened to Walt, like how the switch between Walter and Doc Samson went down.
Oh, you gotta read that. That's a great book too.
Yeah. Also, yeah, I was gonna say, Eternals, such a good book. Love that team. I just hate when we get so much unique superhero team from Marvel, but Marvel like, yeah, we're not gonna give you too much because that's too much. That's too much. As we have to focus on only X-Men
and Avengers.
Even then, Avengers not even. Even then, Avengers like still don't give us pay attention to the unlike the X-Men get a lot of attention.
Yeah, because at least people like the X-Men.
Damn.
But I swear, Erica's is losing her mind at this moment because
she's like, what happened? I can't find them. She's like, God damn it. I'm like, girl, you should never read
calls you back. He always calls back.
First of all, girl, I'm like, girl, you wasn't equipped for the job, were you? Like, you wasn't.
No, she
She
She should
wasn't.
have
wasn't
realized
equipped.
what happened to the last guy in charge of Alpha.
You don't want to know what happened. But, anyways, we got to go back to Krakoa North where we see Laurent sneak out. And remember those 3 kids from issue 2? Yeah, they finally get to go outside and play. And I feel so bad for these kids because they genuinely didn't do anything wrong. They just wanted to go run around and play and be kids, Like,
Yeah.
they did nothing
Yeah,
wrong.
I also
yeah.
want to add that letter is so freaking tragic.
The one right next to that panel?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
Like, it's hard to like Laurent, but that letter hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, oh god.
Brisson does a very good job of planting just enough seeds to make the complete idiot character feel like a legitimate person with a decision that he would be making.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's just really sad because of I think the reality with all the events going on is just reminding you like, damn, all these kids cannot feel safe because they're getting basically hunted down and getting unalive for something they can't control just
And if
because
you
they
think
will.
about it, you can relate this to real life events, which I'm not going to get too much into this.
Yeah,
But if you think about it, you can relate this to real life events. And I think that's part of the reason why I like this book so much. And it also pisses me off that no one has been talking about this book. But it
Yeah.
gets into so much stuff that you can relate to in the real world.
I
And that's
think
part of
that's
the
why I
reason
feel
why I
like
like Alpha Flight so much.
I think now I'm getting more of appreciation of single issues because like just thinking about it, like just review it and reread it, and it's like, oh my god, I could really understand it in a way that is like there instead of just going full on trade and stuff because you get that moment of each of the characters and breathe, and you're like, wow, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, going back to Manitoba for a little bit. So, Albert decides to turn himself in, and Snowbird comes down, and she's like, "Yo, we got company! Oh my god, the Box Sentinels are here!" Ooh. And Mac's like, "Yo, we don't need to be escorted back." And Roger is like, "Yeah, sorry, but I've got orders from this fucking bitch." But it's
hmm
fine. So basically, Erica gives the okay to divert the Box Sentinels to an unknown location, and so basically, we find out what's actually happening. So they're getting redirected to a different place, and Mac is supposed to return to Department H with the prisoner, but he doesn't do that. And so he calls up North Star, who they are chilling out at a random barn house or whatever the fuck, and all that jazz. And JP's like, oh yeah, we're like 200 kilometers away from Krakoa North. Like, we need to get like Nemesis to teleport us or something. And I was like, motherfucker, didn't you hear what Michael was telling you? She'll die.
Yeah,
I think that scene was hilarious. I think
yeah.
like zoning out.
Yeah, I feel like if like the fact that like if I'm like they're going to your location if you don't make it there, and that's why I say like I do agree with Carl that like what you were saying like earlier, like you would have thought Matt would unalive would unalive him, not Matt, North Star would have unalive just because this would be really important to save his husband and go on really top speed.
For real.
Yeah, it's a very big cast, and I don't necessarily think Brisson was able to balance all the motivations perfectly well.
Yeah, I think if he was given more of an issue, then I feel like this would have paid off in the end. If it
Yeah.
like in my opinion. And I think that's what the problem is. I feel like this is the thing. I think people need to understand you cannot do this. A 5 minute a 6 issue or a 5 minute mini issue works well when a solo hero.
Like the
Doing it
Iceman
with a
book.
yeah, doing it with a superhero team like the Alpha Five, especially knowing their history and how and essentially they're so like they're not as iconic as the X-Men stuff, but this is a team that actually has an omnibus or it have more volume than than others. Is a reason why like they work. It's because they have a long enough issue with their team developed long enough. Even the 2011 run, it still developed enough because it was more issues enough.
Yeah, it had a solid 9 issues. I
They
think.
did expect people to know a bit about Alpha Flight. Like, do you think that someone who's new to Alpha Flight should read this book first, or do you think they should read the first run?
I actually think this book,
Yeah,
well, I think it's not great at making you necessarily care about the original team. I think the recap pages are very, very good, and it does a good job
yeah.
of recapping people on the issues that are
But
happening.
I think just in case if you're not sure, I would say go back to the original run. Just because then you will understand the team even more, like a little bit. Which why I'm really mad is that like they should have been smart, do like, oh, let's make an epic collection.
It's too many, honestly. Like, I think there's like 170 issues of Alpha overall.
Look, I think they could actually do just because we have mad epic collection for Thor, Daredevil, Black Panther, Captain America, Iron Man, and these fuckers have more than they do. And
See,
I'm
the
like,
thing is, there's a movie for that. There hasn't been an Alpha movie, so it doesn't have the fan base yet.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's why our fan base is small. If I knew how to use CapCut, I would have made that, that Trolls meme that just dropped.
Yeah.
At the end of the movie, I would have done that with like, the 5 Alpha Flight fans, like me and like the 3 other Alpha Flight fans trying to convince people to join my live.
Yeah,
It's
it does
really
make
funny
the issues
because
cheap.
yeah, I feel like Richter is like, yeah, Richter, you're like, I don't want nobody to be an Alpha Flight fan because then I don't want people just misinterpreting stuff.
No, I don't want MCU Alpha Flight fans.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Now,
let's get back to the issue before we get too off track. Let's at least finish issue 4 before we start to get off track. Okay.
yeah,
So where was I? So basically, they have to be. So JP gets off the phone, with Mac, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we gotta like get back to Krakoa North, and and so basically, Aki is like, "What's the news?" And JP's like, "Oh yeah, Department H is already on to us, but we need to like move. And then Aki's like, why not still
Kyle.
fight them? We already cut down like half of them in Oregon." And JP's like, "You think that we can make a stand here? Like, no." And so then we get a little call from someone else being like, "Yo, Jean Paul, like, we have a problem." And JP's like, "Kyle, is everyone okay? Like, are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine, but Argent and 3 of the kids got out. Don't worry about the kids, they're fine. It's mostly just Argent." And then JP's like, "That reckless little," he wanted to call him a little shit. I mean, I'll call him a little shit for you.
And then it ends with Kyle like, "Oh no." He's like, and then that North Star. I was like, "This is Rick." Richter, look, Richter knew the day when I saw that ending. Richter was like, "He'll be fine." And this is me. I'm like, they better not fucking kill Kyle. Or I swear to fucking God,
he'll be fine.
I was like, I swear to God, fucking count your days, Marvel. Count your fucking days.
You can stay at my house while we take a trip up to California or wherever the
Like-
fuck Marvel is staying. I'll take a trip
Like-
with you.
Like mark your fucking days if something happens to Kyle. And like I remember Richter was like, "Don't worry," like, and you would like say, "Emperor Bracer, give Kyle a fucking gun."
Give him a gun. I wish I would have given him a gun.
And then we give issue 5, the final issue. First of all,
Hold on. We gotta like finish up this last issue. So yeah, the Fox Sentinels do show up to Krakoa North, and we see Argent look behind him after he's heard a big boom, and he's like, "Ah, shit, I fucked up." But unfortunately, we do not get to see Kyle with a gun in this issue, or in any of these issues. I mean, the only time that we saw him with a gun was when he almost shot his future husband.
As you do.
yes.
It's a part of the relationship process,
Also, can we say? I want to say something. This is why I say I love the original cover art, because this cover art of all the team together, like it just feels so. This is like classic comic book cover with all the team together rush in and go into battle. I was like, oh god, I miss Alpha Flight so much. I miss cover arts like this.
I have a quick question for you guys. Well, 2 quick questions, but mostly just one. Do you think so? I hit up Ed Brisson before this book came out, and I was like, 1, is Kyle gonna be in this book? And 2, is he gonna be a damsel in distress? And the first question he answered, yes, he'll be in this book, and 2, he won't be a damsel in distress. So I have a question to you. Do you think he was a damsel in distress in this book?
No.
No.
Perfect. He didn't get to like defend himself like with a gun, but I'm glad to know that you guys agree with me and believe that he was not a damsel in distress.
Yeah.
But before we start issue 5, I don't like this Nightmare variant cover.
Yeah, I don't say. I like the original one.
No, here's the thing about it. I love Peach Momoko art. I love her art. I love her Nightmare variants. I love them. This cover with Snowbird just does not feel like a Nightmare variant to me.
No.
Yeah.
It could have been more.
Yes.
It's nice art by itself, but when you throw in the Nightmare part, it doesn't make any sense.
It does not make any sense, especially since I've seen previous ones with like Captain America where he has like all these like protruding guts and shit coming out of him. This is like not a lot.
Snowbird's just chilling.
Like you could have done something with her shape-shifting ability, or maybe give it to Shaman where he opens up his bag and a whole bunch of like demons come out or some shit like they did in X-Men Alpha Flight number 1, like number 2 or whatever the fuck. Or like you could have done something cool with the twins or something. You could have done something more creative with this, and I'm just kind of disappointed.
You could have done Mac hiding Heather in a basement.
Yes.
I mean, that would have been a nightmare for a lot of people.
Including Heather.
Yeah, no shit. She has that trauma. Anyways, let's start off with issue 5, the final issue of this book. So it starts off with the Box Sentinels basically destroying Krakoa North and also arresting all the mutants plus Kyle that are there because remember, he's not a mutant, but he is married to a mutant, so you know.
Yeah.
He's gonna have
also, seeing Kyle trying to calm down the kids is something like, oh my god, it's like Kyle, you're the fucking best. Like Northstar really was a lucky man. I'm like, yes. And then of course fucking Boxai, Kyle Janao, you're under arrest from like, fuck you.
He's like, this wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be the first time I'm dealing with Department H and all their shenanigans.
Yeah.
I mean, he only has 4 toes on each foot and no appendix, so.
Yeah.
Let's hope that's never mentioned again.
Oh, I hope not.
Hope not. Also seeing the team, both Aurora and Aurora and Northstar, just rush it with the rest of the team, just get in there, like, we need to get there.
For real, like, we gotta hurry the fuck up. And like, when I was first reading this, I don't know why I thought that'd be like, why can't they go faster? Like, these are 2 of the fastest speedsters here. And then I remember, like, oh, they're carrying people.
Yeah. Sasquatch has that stupid suit to protect people, but she doesn't seem to have that.
No.
Yeah.
Also, quick thing before we move on, before we actually get to the rest of it. I think part of the reason why Akihiro is here is because he is dating Aurora at the moment. So it just kind of makes sense why he's here.
I mean, let's be real. The reason he's here is because he's more of a sales draw than any of these characters.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Like, yeah, people like Northstar, but do you think a lot of people are going to buy a book with him in it?
No.
Maybe.
No.
Well,
it's
just us.
Like, yeah. Like, no one gives a shit about Snowbird.
No.
Like, I like Snowbird, but, like, no one's going to buy a book just for her.
No.
Like, yeah, I agree. He is the major selling point of this team. And just barely.
Yeah.
Barely. But anyways, going back to it. So, basically, Mutant Alpha Flight is going to Krakoa North. Non-mutant Alpha Flight is going to Krakoa North. Everyone's going to Krakoa North. That's the hot spot right now, okay?
It's a party.
Yeah. And then we also see on this page, on another page, where Guardian is talking to his other guy, like his homie, you know. Which I don't know who this could be. Like, I had my theories, which we'll talk about before the end, like when we get to the end of the issue, but yeah, they don't bring up who this guy is, right? I don't think they do, but I have theories. Anyways, Mac goes dark on the comms because Erica's a bitch. which I feel like we have been agreeing on that. Anyways, so Laurent comes back and he slices one of these box sentinels in half. And Erica's like, fucking do something. You gotta stop him. And Roger is like kind of freaking out. And he goes on impulse. And he basically Pompeii's Laurent, if you know what I mean.
I was like, when I saw that, I was like, holy shit.
He got charred.
I was like, holy shit. This is like, he got Rescoed.
Yeah.
He got Pompeii'd.
That I felt bad for that kid.
I did too, but at the same time, he was a little shit, but I get it.
That
Like,
art, though, of his death is incredible.
it was so brutal. I was like, wow, was the most brutal death I ever seen for a person. And it's like, I would have not thought they would have not taken it there, especially with a kid. But I was like, damn, they took it there.
We don't know how old Laurent is, but he's
I
probably
was
like in late teens, early 20s, maybe.
I'm giving late teens, but I feel like he was still a teenager.
He's young. He's young.
Yeah.
Like if JP's in his late 20s, early 30s, then Laurent is in his late 20s.
JP cannot be in his late 20s.
Maybe like early Alpha Flight, yes, but nowadays he's definitely in his like early 30s.
He's too
bitter. Also, like seeing JP just get mad, like, yeah, now you're fucking pissing me off with this shit now. Like now we're about to fucking shit
I was
off.
pissed. I was annoyed earlier, now I'm pissed off.
Yeah.
And then luckily Nemesis pulls up and gets everyone out of the chains, and JP's like, Kyle, get everyone out of here, man. Go into the fucking woods or something. I don't know, hide. And we gotta deal with fucking abominations.
Kyle, go to the trees.
Go to the trees.
I wanna go
trees.
Yeah. I want to talk to this Chris that way because this panel is the one that I feel like it broke me a little bit, but I feel like this was really one of the biggest character development arc for Robert because he essentially murders. Essentially, yes, this is a kid. He just murdered someone, and especially someone as young as Lauren. And it's like, and Carrie here, she's like, "Hey, Roger, the murder was a criminal attack," and I'm like. He just kills someone, especially that young. He has innocent blood in his hand, and he's going through a trauma. Do you think he's gonna let it go? Like he just, essentially, even though we don't know the kid, like we didn't know his age, he's literally a kid.
For real. And now Roger is having an existential crisis, and Erica's like, get on your ass, you fucking bitch.
And I really get mad at her because this is what annoyed. Like, yeah, she's a murderess, like a murderer, and it annoys me because this boy just went through the biggest trauma. This guy, Roger, just went through the biggest trauma in his life. He just killed someone. What do you do after that?
For real. And anyways, we got to go back to Krakoa North, where the non-mutant Alpha Flight finally fucking show up.
Also, seeing Snowbird turn into like a Sasquatch creature was so cool. I'm like, finally.
Like, finally. We haven't seen Sasquatch in a while. Like, pure Sasquatch? Barely. Anyways, so they finally show up. You know, they're wreaking some havoc. JP and Mac have a little bit of a conversation. You know, why not?
Can I say something? Did ever peep the art change? Like the art style change?
It does feel that way.
It does feel like that, especially with that one close up of JP. It definitely seems like
I picked that so quickly. I remember reading it's like, oh yeah, that art style really did change. It was peep.
Pages 9 to 13 are done by David Cutler.
Ah, noted. That makes sense.
It still look good though.
It does look good. It's just a very jarring change.
Now me and JP have the same nose bridge. We have the same nose type.
Though I will say, this artist did get the ears right.
Wait, did they?
Check under the close-up of his face.
Hold on. Sorry, hold on. I can't find it. I can't find a good one.
It's under his face. It's the panel under.
I saw it. Fucking finally. Thank you. Someone got it right. That's what kind of pissed me off with Marauders and this book. It was like, give them their fucking pointy ears. I hate when artists do that.
Yeah, it's normally I wouldn't care, but they had a whole arc about how they thought they were elves because of that.
For real. Like, we'll talk about that in another time. JT, you gotta join the Alpha Flight server so that we can all have chats in that.
Straight up.
Yeah, I will join.
I'll send you the link again. Anyways, you know, they gotta fight. You know, it's all great. And so then they're heading into the forest, and we see Nemesis, And she's like, I'll teleport y'all there. It's all good and dandy. And then Mac's like, no, you will die. And she's like, I don't care. These people need our help. And he's like, he has the audacity to say, I can't lose you again, Heather. And she's like, they need us more than you need me. And that is true. You will live, Mac. You did for a long ass time, you fucking whore.
And then they're like, "Oh my god, Matt, I love you." I'm like, "What? Like,
Girl!
girl."
Remember in the Matlow arc where Puck had a crush on Heather and he was really upset about it that he couldn't be with her? Which
You
was
mean
very
his
out of
entire
character for him.
characterization in that era?
Oh god, Matlow had it out for him.
It just really just made me mad. I'm like, your husband put you in the fucking simulation with your child, and you're like, "I love you." I'm like, what?
The thing is, we don't know if she knows.
That's
Oh
true.
yeah,
That is
that's
so
very true.
true. Maybe in the future, and we don't know.
Like,
I wonder if she got out and then the memory was suppressed.
I mean, she, from the first place, made her think that he was helping her. She doesn't necessarily know she was in a brainwashing facility.
True, but maybe she did find out, and that's how she became Nemesis in the first place.
We'll never know.
We'll never know because this is only 5 issues.
It's a pain.
So Erica is telling Roger, who's having an existential crisis right now, to get on his ass and take Nemesis down because remember she's an important asset. And Roger's about to use the box sentinels against them, and Feedback actually uses his powers to dismantle all the box robots. And basically, Nemesis is able to teleport everyone to a secure location, and she passes out. And we get to the Alpha Flight low orbit space station, where we get to see
Marina. First of all, Marina looking good as always. Also,
she have pointy ears, and the twins didn't.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. First of all, her outfit look. Oh my god, it is a. I love.
That's my favorite Marina. That's like one of my favorite Marina outfits.
Like I'm not mad. I'm not mad that she don't have her classic outfit, but I'm just like, wow, this updated outfit is giving body yada yada.
I need someone to cosplay Marina. This
like
specific version.
Also, seeing Walter combined with Doc Samson is like, oh my god, I love Doc Samson.
He looks good. I'm not gonna lie, he looks good.
He looked good. Like, first of all, I love Doc Samson. That's like I know people like, oh my god, you like Doc? Like, yes. So seeing him
at like first appearance, by the way.
Nice.
Oh my god.
I got it for like
seeing him with this look, and also seeing Heather and Mac's child, I'm like, oh my god. It's so weird. She just never age.
No, it's like all chill. It's like all babies. They're not gonna age. Like Shogo, he never aged. Joanne, I would be surprised if they brought her back and if she aged. But anyways, so basically, Aurora goes to hug Claire and she's like, Claire, you've gotten so big. And Claire's like, is mommy with you? And Aurora, being the best ever, she's like, no, but I promise you'll see her soon if we get that prison break. Wink wonk, wink wonk. Anyways, so everyone who stayed at Krakoa North, so basically the non-mutant Alpha Flight plus Heather, they all get arrested. And they have to take Heather to the hospital for medical attention. And the bot sentinel basically takes his head and puts it to the ground and was like, stay down, traitor. Like, you're the one going to jail. And Mac is like, maybe, but because of us, there are more than 20 mutants who won't be, which, fair enough. But the letter that we get to see from JP to Laurent's mother, that broke my heart.
That's harsh.
That broke my heart.
Oh, Laurent, like once it's all said and done, all the music get back resurrection to Laurent, and I just want to see him to be happy. Oh God, that just breaks my heart.
This whole letter made me sad. It's like.
Also, seeing like the final panel of the game in jail, seeing Snowbird, I know she's indigenous, but like, damn, they just made her so hella white.
Oh yeah.
For real.
Also, the art switched back again.
Yeah, it was just 9 to 13.
Yeah, but you know what's funny about that with this one specific panel is that they had that power dampening collars. What the fuck is Mac and Puck gonna do?
I don't know.
What is Puck
Well,
gonna
I
do?
feel like
Power
because
his way
Matt
out of
does
there?
have. I feel like Puck do have powers, but like Matt don't.
Matt
Yeah.
really doesn't. It's the suit.
Puck, at one point, the master changed him to be literally made of rubber. I don't know how it would
Yeah,
suppress that,
Fair enough.
but
yeah.
Mac doesn't make any sense. They just did that.
They just did that so
Then
that
Yeah,
he
fuck
matches
you.
with everyone else.
Yeah.
Twinsies,
yeah,
like
so
quadruplets.
so we got everybody. We got the half of them in jail. The non-mentioned. Heather's in critical condition, and Box is going through the most mental health crisis of his entire life. And like question everything he believe in about Department H. And the kids are happy in a new place.
Yeah,
And
chilling
bitch
out with the Shiar. And then
and evil air Miss how say Miss freaking Karen Becky Paige Rebecca be annoying like no furry question this time. Fuck you.
we're never gonna see her again, and I'll be happy if we don't.
I think if we ever see the prison Elfins again, we'll probably see her. And she honestly might show up in future X-Men
I
epic
just swear
stuff.
to God, I hope my dream scenario is this like she's like I'm talking and I hope Marina just turns to a big Leviathan and squish her like a bug.
I would love that. I love Marina. I'm so glad that like I saw. I was funny enough. I read a lot. I funny a lot enough. I read a lot of these issues at work, and when I read this, when I saw Marina and Walter, I was like trying to hold in my excitement. I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, you know. And I love this book. I was one of the only few people on Twitter actually talking about this book and all that jazz. I just wish that it was longer, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It suffers a lot from Marvel's mini model.
Yeah.
yeah. Also, like, but
Like
seeing Marina, I was like, Marina, I'm like, you look good, Mama. I was like, you look real good. You look real good. Like, life has done you
you're
wonders.
hyping her up. Shit.
Like, no, like, come on now. Like, who doesn't love an alien character who just look really hot, just looking good?
Yeah, who
And now
doesn't
she
love
knows she look good.
the lady who got to marry Namor?
Yeah,
But
it's like you're looking good.
but any other thoughts before we close out for the night? Because I know it's late for you guys.
I
Oh,
think I want to reiterate, I love this book a lot. I think it's
Same.
excellent, and I think Brisson, Godlewski, Milla, everyone else did an amazing job.
I like
agree.
it. I like it a lot. I really do. Like talking to you guys. I really will join the Discord. Please send me the
I'll send the
link.
link. And
Send the
also,
link.
when it came to this book, you can tell that Brisson really does care about this team. Like he would try to put this team into anything if he could. I mean, he got a cameo in Old Man Logan, I think.
I think you could tell he really likes them, and I think that is the saddest part because I feel like given the chance of a more issues, I feel like this would have done really more better.
Oh yeah, if it was at least like 10 issues, you know.
Yeah.
Like really, and if it does really well to the point, I wish it was like, oh my god, it's like Alpha Flight came back to Resurrection as a new run. I'm like, because I feel like Alpha Flight is one of those teams where it's like this issue, like even though it wasn't perfect, it reminded me everything why I love about this team. They're chaotic, they're very hectic, but they're very much family, and they have their own shit to deal with and stuff. And you love
Alpha
the
Flight,
drama.
Alpha Flight is a family, while the Avengers are coworkers, and I stand by that.
I actually
Yeah,
think Alpha
Like,
Flight's coworkers.
I definitely like no, it's been not. You can make a case for the main team not being like not being a family, but like the team when they had like Diamond Lil, Madison Jeffries, like anything from like the late 80s, early 90s, that was definitely like a family. Like
Oh,
you could
yeah.
tell. Like
yeah.
even JP was liking some of these motherfuckers.
Yeah. And it's also this crazy that that's how much they've grown as characters, but it's like, damn, like again, you want another Alpha Flight book because you really see this team. I'm like, like even though none of them get to shine, they still got the chance to shine somewhat.
Yeah. Each
Yeah.
had a little moment, even if it wasn't like Shaman leading the team or Snowbird having a personality. Sorry, I'm not a snowbird guy.
It's all good.
Yeah.
I get it. It's all
Yeah, and then like I was like, damn, Marina. I was like, God, you look good. I was like,
you know,
I
out
was
of
like,
all the characters, I wish we got to see more of Puck in this book.
Yeah,
yeah,
Especially.
no,
I
it's
think
understandable.
I think Puck, Aurora, Heather, and Shaman got the
The shorter end of the stick.
yeah.
I agree.
Yeah,
I mean, that's kind of. I mean, no, but like in Alf, like in the other volumes with those characters in it, like I was not like, yeah, they do get their time to shine, but for Aurora, she just gets fucked over a lot of the times, and like
Yeah. I don't think I've seen any run where she's handled well.
no, and it's like. But when it comes to the male characters with this condition, they do a little bit better. But like with characters with DID, it is a bit harder. I don't have DID myself, so I couldn't tell you. But like from consuming media and doing a little bit of research, I could tell you that she gets done dirty a lot. Sometimes worse than others, but you know they try their best. Like the people who are trying to do this earnestly are trying their best, and I can acknowledge that.
yeah. Like this was a fun live, even though not everything went through perfectly, but this was really fun.
Yeah, I'm glad that you guys enjoyed yourselves. I would have
Also,
liked this to be longer. However, we are on a time crunch, and I do have to text Cryptid soon to end this live. But we can still talk after the live ended.
yeah.
But like,
Sounds
yeah,
good.
I did really like this run. It is unfortunate that I was one of the only few people actually talking about this book. However,
Yeah,
I did really enjoy it. I hope we get another run, even if it's like another even if it's a one shot, like a Prison Break one shot, trying to just get the rest of Alpha Flight to space. I think that would be cool.
I
Just to
would
see
just get it.
again.
I would just break my own rule and just get it, like risk it for a bistic.
I would like to see some of the other members of the team, like especially from the early '90s team. Like that'd be cool to see like Wild Child and Diamond Lil and Windshear and all these characters back. Like I know we're not gonna get them back. I wasn't expecting to see these characters back, but like I think it would have been cool to see them back.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
would have cried.
yeah. Also, good thing my phone did it. My phone didn't mess up. Internet was actually working today. Thank God.
Yay! Everyone give a clap for JT's internet.
Oh my God.
Anyways,
Yesterday
I
was
think this is a good time to end the live. If you guys have
yes.
anything else to say, that would be great.
Aces.
Kai Gennaro.
Marvel, bring back Joanne Bobier, or else I'm taking your kneecaps.
Someone give Aurora a plot.
Thank you. Give her a mini series. Give her a one shot, please. And anyways, I texted Cryptid. He should be seeing it any moment now. But let's bullshit until he does. But I blame you, Sinister, for fucking up the Resurrection Protocol, and so that I can't get Joanne back. Fuck you.
Oh my
He
God.
will.
Anyways, yeah, audience, have a nice night. Don't do anything too stupid, and make sure that you are not a mutant in Canada right now. I guess you could. I guess.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Handle our
one
guys.
day, we all got like one day we got money, all three of us, and like the rest of the Alpha like gang probably make a visit to Canada.
Don't worry,
Now
I'll
I
bring
feel
my
like
North Star cosplays. Don't worry. Anyways,
no.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have a good night, guys. You will definitely be seeing me next week. I'm not sure about these two, but definitely you'll see me next week. You'll see these guys on their socials, I guess you could say. Anyways, good night, guys. Have a good night.
Good night.
Night.
Good night, audience.